We have got two exciting matches for you today. The first will be between Mitchel S. Barney and Johnny English, and in the style of the Hidden Cup. I won't tell you what the second match is until we get there. But we're going to start off with this game between Mitchel S. Barney and Johnny English. This will be about rounding out the first half of the first round here in the Hidden Cup before we can get to the next part of the bracket. And, just off the bat, I think probably both of these characters, veteran spies. Mitchel S. Barney, of course, has been a part of the SpyParty community now for years and years, ever since old art. And on the other side of this, Johnny English, of course, no stranger to espionage and deceit, been a part of the spy community here for, I would say, at least a couple decades.
Yeah, these are definitely veterans going at it. Johnny English, of course, has the reputation of being maybe slightly less than orthodox, but still getting the job done. So let's see if that reputation continues through to this match.
Yep. And of course, before we actually get into the spy play, we're going to have to decide where it is that these two titans of espionage will be meeting. That's right, we're going to have to take a look here at the draft and figure out where it is they'll be facing each other. Now, for those who haven't been following the Hidden Cup too closely, the draft works as such. Each of these spies has submitted their venue preferences here, and then the Gabriotron will assign the ideal draft for them to play. Taking a look at this, we see Johnny English, a big fan of ballroom. A one means essentially always doubling. Also a big fan of library, fan of modern and pub as well, and really not being very happy about gallery or veranda. By contrast, Mitchel S. Barney actually likes gallery and veranda quite a bit, as well as tan, library, and modern, but really not a fan of courtyard, aquarium, or pub.
So it seems like it's a given that we're going to be seeing some library here. Beyond that, though, honestly, the way that the Gabriotron works is a bit of a mystery, and one of the many hidden things about this tournament. So I'm not sure where we're going to end up, to be honest. As I said, I would be shocked if we don't see some library and probably some modern as well. But beyond that, all bets are off.
That's absolutely true. Well, as we wait for the Gabriotron to count us in here, I just want to point out one thing that's very significant here. Looking at balcony, both of these players have it as 3. I feel like it's very uncommon to see not only one person who's very neutral about balcony, it's kind of a love it or hate it venue, but 2.
Yeah, also Johnny English, loving library, hating veranda. That's not a very typical combination. But let's see what the draft ends up getting to here. It looks like we have high rise, modern, balcony, redwoods, and then ending on library, which is a unique setup here.
It really is. I mean, we have high rise, okay, fine. We have library, which is very much not like high rise. And then we have redwoods and balcony, 2 venues that we don't always see that often in competitive play. It'd be very interesting as people try to guess the identity of these players. We may have a lot of experience in knowing what their library play looks like, but how much are we really going to be able to intuit based on how they play balcony or redwoods? It's going to be a real test not only of these players' abilities, but of the guessers' abilities as well.
Absolutely. And also worth mentioning, should we get there, the overtime is going to be 4 games of library. And then if that's still tied afterwards, then missions equals points on courtyard.
All right, well, that is our draft. And now I think, Sped Monkey, we're ready to get into our first game.
I'm ready if you guys are, yeah.
All right, well, we will transition.
Give me a second, because I have a black screen.
Just a second.
Yeah.
I think the key with the Hidden Cup here for when we're watching, of course, we'll want to be watching the plays that these players make and enjoying their high-level or low-level antics, whichever the case may be. But we're also going to be keeping an eye open for tells. We're kind of playing meta spy party here. We're not trying to figure out which character at the party is the spy, but which player in the community is behind the controls. That means looking out for how they light. It means looking out for their pathing decisions, how they move into conversation. There's 100 million things we can be looking at, and we'll be trying to watch them along with all of you as we start here on High Rise as White Dress Mitchel S. Barney on the spy side. Everybody ready for it?
Yep.
Absolutely.
All right, let's get into the game in 3, 2, 1, playing it. And our first clue here, we have fingerprint on, purloin off on High Rise. So everybody take note of that and cross some of these players off your bingo card here as we move into conversation with our seduction target, double agent, and a whole gaggle of other guests.
Yep. Not taking a banana bread right here, which makes sense. Also worth noting that Ambassador is high lit, Toby and the SDAs are low lit from the sniper side.
Yeah, it's definitely a very fair point. Damon low lit as well, so this is a very conscientious sniper, making sure to get their lights exactly right. We pick up a quick flirt there. It's a green test for 51%. And we're going to move into this empty conversation and just do a little idle cycle here before we bounce away to our next destination. It looks like we may be trying to chase our seduction target here, but no, we're going to stop at this painting and let our seduction target walk all the way over to statues, not willing to follow to a statue pad.
It looked like maybe we were going to go for a bug with the ambassador in a very buggable position, but as soon as the ambassador moved away, we suddenly stopped on that pad. I'm not sure if that was intentionally the plan, but that's kind of what it looked like from my point of view there.
Yeah, well, here we are with the double agent. Again, this is not really a very good contact, especially now as the double agent leaves. Smallman has picked up a highlight, I believe, for finishing inspects now. Very suspicious there from Smallman. We're going to see if Mitchel S. Barney can take advantage of it as Smallman is trying to enter our conversation here. Camera following him around. We'll have a chance to pick up a second flirt, and we will. It's another green test taking us to 96%, and we get highlight for that flirt despite never having gone anywhere aside from these two conversations.
Yeah, now that's really interesting. I can't think of what that possibly is besides maybe a flirt pair. I'm not sure if it's with Smallman or with Queen though. But either way, that highlight should tell us a lot about who this sniper is realistically. Not a lot of players really pay that much attention to either the flirt pairing or whatever else may have twigged that highlight. And in the meantime, we're going into center statues here.
Yeah, this is very dangerous. We were already highlight for that conversational talk or flirt pair or whatever it was. Now we have inspects done. All we need is one more flirt and a contact to finish this game up. And it looks like we're heading back over to conversation again with our seduction target, trying to finish off our flirt. And then when we say banana bread, I think there's a decent chance that Mitchel S. Barney catches a bullet.
I think there's a good chance that we were called to that briefcase, and by skipping it, that was maybe not how we were supposed to play etiquette-wise, but we're not shot for it. We're just going to pick up a drink instead.
Here comes the double agent. Double agent enters the conversation. Our seduction target's here as well. Two people that have finished inspects are in this conversation for real BB. We're in the countdown. 8 seconds, but the shot comes off on Queen.
Yeah, no hesitation whatsoever.
That is not the shot I expected there. There are several high-value targets in that conversation, but Queen, who is a highlight at that point, gets the bullet.
Yeah, Queen had just been sitting there for quite some time, actually. I'm not really sure what else she had completed. I didn't think she had finished inspects. Maybe fingerprints?
Queen, it looks like, does actually get at least one briefcase.
She only has one print, I think.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, fair enough. That will be a spy win on the part of Mitchel S. Barney, opening up this set.
Yeah. All right then. Well, any initial thoughts on our potential players?
I will reserve judgment, although I will point out that that briefcase skip makes me think that Mitchel S. Barney might not be Max Edward Snacks, who just dropped a bunch of briefcase content in the Discord, by the way. So I think that's one name off my list. Although, could it be a double fake out? Hard to say.
Good to know. All right, let's move on. Looks like we have Alice as the spy.
Yep, Johnny English here ready to play on the spy side. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. And here we have Cowboy as the ambassador, as opposed to Tex. Ambassador does get a low light here from Mitchel S. Barney, and we get a low light as well. Okay, it's just temporary. It's just a misclick. We get brought back up. No worries here. Damon is a neutral light as we step into blue bookcase and pick out a book. Fingerprint is on. Purloin is off. And our seduction target, by the way, just finished up at center statues.
All right, so let's look at what's going on here. We have Smallman as an automatic low light. We have the ambassador highlight. We have Toby and the SDA's neutral lit. And Irish picks up a low light for what? I'm not sure.
Yeah, we entered this conversation with our double agent. Our seduction target has gone from center statues to side statues, probably waiting for them to get into conversation so we can get them in for this real banana bread, but they're just going window to window. Johnny English's camera, keeping a close focus on them. This is going to be, I think, their plan for the rest of this game, given how quickly that center statue visit happened. They're heading into conversation now, and they do enter conversation. We could go for this banana bread. We know the double agent is in our conversation. There's only one person out. That's Seek. Assuming Seek is not the SDA, we have a pretty good chance of this contact being real for our seduction target. There's the contact. The guess is correct. It is real for everyone except for Seek, who's out of conversation. That's a really good contact.
Yeah, I'm really fascinated by these lights too. General picked up a light there, as I think he was talking, then immediately took a drink for the banana bread. Like, there's definitely some behavioral stuff going on from the sniper, and I'm not sure what to make of that.
Yeah, no lights for these statue visitors either. Twin, who has I think 5 inspects at this point, has not picked up any lights at all. Everyone in this party has a real banana bread except for Seek, and we go for this briefcase. But we don't pick up the difficult print. That's unfortunate. We don't go for the bug there. It would have been very hard to hit. A light finally comes off on Twin. We join this conversation. We have a chance to try starting our flirt, but with a minute and a half to go, it's not clear to me if our plan here really is mission win, despite going for that difficult print on that briefcase. And it's a red flirt with our seduction target, in fact.
Yeah, Johnny English has been kind of slow playing this thus far, but going for that briefcase maybe would have changed the plan if they had hit that fingerprint and opened up a few more options. As it is right now, though, as you said, we're down under a minute 10. Our selection target
BST
comes to
comes
us.
back.
Yeah,
BST comes back after the red flirt. And the shot comes off. And Johnny English, in true to form, a red test wins the day, sending the seduction target who had real contact and real inspects away from that conversation, and they come straight back to the exact same place they just left after a very short stay at painting.
yep, that was about as Johnny English as it gets.
It really
But
was.
also, the selection target giving us a lot of help there, going to center statues early, and then being around and just acting very spy-like, moving around a bunch, walking away, coming back to us to pick up those flirts. Um, I can perfectly understand why that shot was taken.
We had 0 white action tests in that game. So if you're looking to figure out who Johnny English is, just look for someone who never gets a white, always gets a green or a red, and I think you found your player.
All right, well, that will do it for high rise for us here. Now we're going to move on to one of the bigger venues, which might show us a little bit more about these players' preferences.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. We're going to be stepping here into Modern. Mitchell S. Barney as red dress trying to blend in, which is always a good plan for a spy. Let's get right into the game here in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
All right, so we got dumped right next to our selection target, and it looks like we're just going to chase him down and see where Kane lands, and hopefully be able to squeeze ourselves in next to him. Unfortunately, this conversation circle looks pretty full, but we're just going to wedge ourselves in there anyway, and look at these highlights immediately.
Yeah, those highlights, I think, tell a lot of the story here. Johnny English willing to light people for these kind of etiquette behavioral things, pushing yourself into a conversation where you don't really belong. And meanwhile, we're going to step into green books here in Modern after a quick flirt, a green test for 51%.
Yeah, we're going to take this book out, and we're doing a microfilm action test, and it's visible. The head shake is visible, but no real reaction from the sniper. I think that we got away with that one.
Red Dress does have a pretty good transfer animation as far as the head is concerned. The head shake often is not necessarily as visible because of the way the hair moves. And we're chasing our seduction target here all the way to bar. Chance to finish off with a 2 flirt here to request a drink. But it's a white test, unfortunately. Takes us to 85% on the flirt. We'll need one more. We are still going to request a drink here and pick up a delegate.
If these highlights are for the early flirt, as I suspect, though, we're in real trouble here. Like, I have a feeling that Johnny English is completely on top of this flirtation, and I feel like if we go back to Kane, that's just really going to cement things.
All right, well, we are taking our drink here, heading back over to this conversation we've been in previously, this time with a double agent instead of our seduction target. Conversation's not particularly full. A little bit of a rough banana bread here if we decide to take it. Could also decide to fire off our delegate. We're gonna have to do it sometime decently soon, though, as even from this conversation pad, it's a bit of a hike over to bar, and the timer is ticking down.
Yeah, you have to kind of be aware, but I mean, as we said in our regular cast yesterday, there's a lot of value even in just sending someone to the bar, even if they're not going to pick up the delegate. And that's what we do here, just an immediate delegate, then stop talk to Disney. I'm not sure if this is actually going to take, but either way, having just another person going to bar definitely has its own value. And we're going to go into bookshelf instead here. We already have one microfilm on pocket. So the question is whether we can actually pull off this action test here or whether we're going to take the book out and do it somewhere else.
Yeah, unfortunately, the delegate expires. We are going to go get a fingerprint, though, and we could go for this transfer, but we're extremely exposed, no cover. We're forced to take the book away and trying to find a better place to do this microfilm. Instead, we will join conversation with our seduction target, immediately talk and stop talk to finish off our flirt. That's our first mission done with just 100 seconds left to play. The delegate did not happen as the timer expired, and so we have a minute and a half as we join conversation with the double
Banana
agent.
bread.
We left an immediate banana bread. It's a green test. That'll knock out 1, 2, maybe 3 people. Pretty good banana bread, all things considered.
Yeah, but I worry that we're acting really, really spy-like right now. Look at these highlights coming off for reels.
If we're assuming real here, I think we have it down to 3.
Well, we currently have 4
Down
highlights.
to 4.
Yeah. And this is not a great situation to be in, especially since we've certainly been seen finishing our flirt. And again, the very quick talks on both that last flirt and the banana bread could be a big problem. We're going to go for the microfilm here at the very, very edge of the venue. And let's see. It's a green test. I'm not sure if the sniper saw it, though. It was kind of at the very, very edge of the range, the visual range.
Yeah, very difficult to see there. The arm, we're not at a good angle to see the arm. The head turn again as red dress, not super easy to see. We're gonna go for this briefcase, and that's gonna be a shot immediately. Good shot there from Johnny English. Just on top of us all of that game from the very, very beginning when we wedged ourselves into that conversation.
Yep, definitely. Also worth noting, the shot came in the ankle. A lot of snipers will just kind of shoot wherever they can, but not all that many will aim for specifically the feet. So something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, absolutely true.
Okay. Looks like we are on to the next, and we have Johnny English as red dress once again.
All right, so running it back here, I think both of these players really appreciating the camouflage that red dress gets here on Modern, blending into the walls and the floors in terms of her dress color. Let's see how much of an impact that could have here. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I mean, that is important. We're going immediately to bookshelf, and we rip it out. We're going for some instant cheese.
Oh, wow, an immediate trip to green as well. Johnny English, no respect here, just bumbling around the bookcases, accidentally putting a book into the wrong shelf, and completing a mission because of it. How on brand can you get?
Yeah, very nice play, and kind of surprising based on the slow play that we saw on High Rise last time, but that's one mission done already here.
Yep, and now that we have that mission done, we're just going to go over to Windows and idle a bit. We're not really trying to rush this immediately, it looks like. We got away with that transfer. We're going to take a second to breathe before we move on to our next step of our game plan here. And it looks like it's just going to be another window pad visit, actually, going window to window here. Just going a little bit more slowly.
Yeah, definitely. A little bit surprising based on the immediate thing, but we're going to go for this briefcase as well and pick up a fingerprint. So really steady, quick mission progress here from Johnny English, all before 3 minutes, with more than 3 minutes remaining, excuse me. Let's watch this return. Looks like it's going to be pretty good. Briefcase goes off, and let's see where we end up next. Our selection target, unfortunately, is moving around, so we can't chase him down. We just bounce off him a little bit. Looks like we're going to go back to Windows once again.
Yeah, I said that window play looked like we were just idling and trying to play this slow. Instead, we were just waiting to pounce on that briefcase, which we immediately do. Our seduction target was in the conversation, but moves again as we go and try to start chasing. And now it looks like seduction target is headed all the way out here. We're going to be a long, 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 long chase to go pick up our first flirt here with 2.5 minutes left. Kind of a weird stop there on the pad, but it's outside of the sniper's visual range, so I don't think it was seen or suspected for anything.
Yep, we got there in the end. Also worth noting, I don't think Johnny English has checked their watch at window pads once, and that's kind of a behavioral thing that a lot of players don't think about. Also something worth considering as we try to suss out who these players potentially are.
Well, we're here in conversation with the double agent. Well, we're no longer in conversation with the double agent, so no contact will be coming off. We could try to chase our seduction target down to that conversation, try to pick up our second flirt here. We're down to 2 minutes left, and we still need one more print and one more mission even after we finish flirt. If we can find another print, though, we're in really good shape. We can do contact and flirt, and we'll finish off the game. And it looks like that's our plan. We're going immediately for this briefcase. It's going to be a 2 briefcase game. There's the briefcase. Perfectly fine pickup. Let's watch this return. But that's going to be another mission done.
And meanwhile, it's worth noting as well that Johnny English has changed things up.
Stealth highlight. We get a stealth highlight here from Mitchel S. Barney. Not the laser flicking over, just clicking on us as we go by. Not a lot of players will do that, so that's another clue.
Yeah, I mean, both these players seem pretty high level to me right now. I was going to say that Johnny English also has picked Pearls now as the ambassador, going from Cowboy on high rise to Pearls here. And there's one player very notably who chooses Pearls as the ambassador on these bigger venues. But let's see how the rest of this goes before we start making any real calls.
All right, well, that's Flirt done as well. We just need a contact to finish this game, but I think it might be a little bit tricky. There are not a lot of highlights on this map, and we are one of them. As the double agent leaves the conversation that we were heading to again, we're just going to pass right on by it and head over to our favorite spot on the venue, this left window pad. Down to 54 seconds now. Are we going to try to fire up this contact and survive, or are we going to try to find a silent game somehow by going for a weird purloin, finding a bug, or even doing inspects at this point? I think inspects is going to be too late.
So I feel like we're going to be okay here because if that microfilm at the beginning was missed, then the mission count on us is going to be bad. And this banana bread will only be the third mission. Let's see if that's the reaction, though. Here it comes. It's a white test. We're going to be talking.
Banana bread.
It comes off. The laser immediately flicks, but doesn't come over to us. I think we're going to get away with this.
Yeah, I think we are. 1 second left. No shot comes off. And Johnny English with another win here. And just a really clean modern game, I think. The pacing was really good. We got those fingerprints. We didn't wait on them. We didn't try to make sure they were difficult or anything. We said, look, a briefcase. Let me go pick it up. And that worked out really well for us after that initial book cheese.
Yeah, all right. Well, so that does modern for us. Johnny English picking up both games here.
All right, well, this will take us to something completely different. It will be Balcony. And Balcony, I think the lighting style is going to tell a lot about how these players play. But of course, a lot of Balcony is just, what does the party do around you? We'll have to see how the players react to that. We will be starting off with Mitchel S. Barney here as General. A tall character, very easy to see, with that same Taft ambassador. Let's get into it here in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
All right, the first thing that draws my attention, we have Smallman as the seduction target. And everyone else in this party is tall. This is clearly a party choice. This is not random. Every member of this party was selected, and not many players do that. Cowboy with a little weird shimmy there picks up a highlight for it.
Yeah, and look at these two AIs just going over to guard the ambassador there at windows, just flanking either side. And I think we have a lot of hate on Smallman here.
Yeah, definitely.
Banana bread.
Based on these lights, yeah, we have 3 big lights. We are not one of them, even despite the 1 green flirt. The question is whether, as always on Balcony, whether the plan is to finish or just fire her off, just let a banana bread and then let someone else in the party get shot. But no, we're going to do another flirt. It's a white test, up to 65%.
Yeah, laser hovering over us. We haven't earned the highlight yet. Smallman was talking to that, and Cowboy does another little weird shimmy. Cowboy with ants in his pants there, kind of moving around a lot, but not really going anywhere. And we path way over here to the ambassador. But with a drink in hand, there's no threat here.
Yeah, that was a strange path. But we seem to be okay. And maybe the point was just to go over and do something that no spy would do, which is stand next to the ambassador when nothing could possibly be done. And then we do it again by picking up this briefcase, which is also not useful. Cowboy picks up a low light, meanwhile, for inactivity. Duke as well.
Yeah, we forced this briefcase return. We're down to 30 seconds. But our seduction target is with us at windows, and we're finishing off our flirt. I don't see a shot coming off here. Certainly not on us.
No, agreed.
The bug! The bug! We try for the 3 of 3.
BM bug. Wow.
It doesn't take, and I'm so sad. But you have to think, what kind of player would do that? That's going to be a big clue here, probably, in the player guesses.
Yeah, absolutely. And both these players clearly know what's up. Mitchell, some really interesting pathing decisions there, but it certainly worked out. And on the flip side, Johnny English, clearly not a student of balcony pathing as maybe opioids would be. So there is that.
All right, well, that was one side of balcony. It's time to move to the other. We're here with Johnny English as Kane. And we are running right into our Ambassador of Taft to start things off. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I'm going to note that we have the same sort of party selection going on here. I think this is also fully intentional.
Yeah, unfortunately here,
And
Smallman's a
red.
double agent, but what's fortunate, of course, is on balcony, the double agent is not indicated to the sniper, so Smallman's still as much of a suspect as anyone as Smallman splits out of that conversation after the banana bread.
Yeah, no highlights though, or lowlights for that matter. Whoever Mitchel S. Barney is, playing it cool, not highlighting any suspicions for that early banana bread. And here comes the first flirt. Our selection target is a white test, 34%.
Yep, that's one flirt done and contact done. We pick up a low light onto Seek. And we're standing here next to the ambassador, but I can't imagine a bug's gonna come off, especially with this particular sniper angle. Sniper knows where they have to be to guard this bug.
Yeah, the sniper is definitely very experienced with balcony, no doubt.
Seduction target moves back in the conversation, but it's very, very far away from us. We may take this flirt, but it's going to be a very far one if we do. And its low light comes off on our seduction target as well for no talking, I assume, in that conversation. Excuse me, for not talking in that conversation.
Yeah, our selection target is wandering in and out, but not talking, and that's the crucial thing on balcony, is counting those potential flirts. We're going to chase our selection target to windows now. I don't know if Mitchel S. Barney is on top of our flirt pair here, but it seems like they're paying an awful lot of attention down to general instead.
Yeah, we're down to 30 seconds here. We're going to have to help this cooldown timer a little bit. We only need one more flirt, but it's going to have to be another window. But then General takes a shot immediately. No need for us to find that third flirt. And that would be another spy win here.
What was that shot for?
It's a weird timing on the shot. You're absolutely right, because General is just standing here at windows when the shot comes off. Shot comes off at 24 seconds, and at 34 seconds, we're just leaving conversation. So no chance that we could have been finished there.
No, that's a really weird timing. Like no bug was possible coming out of that conversation circle. There wasn't any mission progress possible. Maybe like a phantom time ad. I don't know.
Probably thought the range with Morgan could have worked. Maybe paired with Morgan, but it's too far away. But from that angle, I could see someone like misinterpreting the range.
Yeah, it's rough. General taking great pains to stand as far to the right as humanly possible on that pad. But nonetheless, is able to provoke a shot for standing there. Sniper showing maybe just a little bit of inexperience with that shot. And that will be a point for Johnny English, who now, if I believe, leads in the set 4-2.
Yeah, that sounds right to me. And now we're going into, again, a little bit different from the moderns of the world, Redwoods.
Redwoods, of course, a fantastic map here. It's brand new in SpyParty, relatively speaking. It does have some trees that you have to contend with, but trees are friends. And we have Mitchel S. Barney here on the spy side as Taft. And correct me if I'm wrong, I believe Mitchel S. Barney has always picked Taft as the ambassador prior to this.
I think that's correct, yes. But now, switching to Cowboy.
All right, so maybe some plans here as Taft. We can't body block statue swaps here on Redwoods, so interesting to see what we're going to find. Let's get into the game in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Taft is a very fast character. Redwood's deceptively large, so that's not necessarily a bad thing as we step into this middle conversation all by ourselves. The ambassador leaving us here. Taking a look around at the party, we do have our selection target at statues. Quite a bit of statue activity, quite a bit of bar activity as well. This party's being pretty active early on. We're going to step into blue bookcase and try to grab a book.
Yep. And this early microfilm, if you can get it, is pretty strong. It's often not very tracked very well just because of how out of the way that bookshelf is, and there's so many other things to watch, especially early on. So I don't know if we've gotten this book away for free, but it's often the case. In the meantime, we're going to pick up a green float for 51% as well.
Yeah, on Redwoods, the real test for this hard transfer can sometimes be not just knowing that Taft took a book out of blue, but seeing Taft appear at red or green with a book when red or green are tracked so carefully. But if you miss the entrance into the bookcase pad and you just see Taft there standing with a book, there's a pretty good chance the microfilm can come off for free. But here, with half of our flirt done, we may be content to just sit here and timer flirt with pearls, but no, we're going to head out of this conversation, path all the way around, and go for this briefcase instead. Mitchel S. Barney continuing to look carefully for the fingerprint play as we go return this briefcase to the ambassador.
Yep, and fingerprints are certainly prioritizing fingerprints is a very strong play. We just pause here as the ambassador walks by, put it down, and move away. And pick up the highlight for it, though.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. And we step right back into conversation with our seduction target. It's a white test this time on an immediate talk, bringing us to 85%. And that highlight for that briefcase is not what we want to have early here on Redwoods as we're trying to get a lot of progress done. We go try to transfer the book, but both bookcases full. No opportunity to do so. We're forced to go back outside. Looks like here we may be thinking about getting a contact instead. We can't go to statues as our hands are full, and so contact, one of the only pieces of progress we can make here. It will be the contact. It's a white test, and it's not too bad. It's going to let off maybe a couple of lowlights here, but not bad all things considered.
No, time is ticking down though. We're down under 1:30. We have contact done. We have the book in hand. We have a bunch of partial mission progress, but Redwoods is definitely a venue where time is deceptive and it can get away from you if you aren't careful.
All right, well, we are heading in for the transfer now. No shot coming off so far, so it looks like we may be getting away with this one. There's our inspects. Now we put this book back. All of a sudden, we have 2 missions done and very significant progress on numbers 3 and 4. We step outside to finish our inspects here, but the shot comes off. That transfer perhaps more suspected than we had thought. Johnny English on top of it and picks up another point.
Yeah, I really didn't think that Johnny English knew where that book came from, but clearly they had seen the book coming out and just knew exactly what was going on.
Yep. Maybe we had just been seen walking around with a book at some point during the game, and Sniper was aware we'd never been to the front bookcases and so knew that it was a blue book. It can be easy, perhaps when that briefcase highlight came off, to say, there's someone with a briefcase, and I can see they have a book in their free hand, although really it's pretty hard to see, this being Redwoods. Whatever the case, Johnny English gets the right shot and shoots us with 3 missions complete on Redwoods.
Yep. Very nice. Then we're moving into Johnny English, trying to put this away, actually. This is match point.
All right, well, we are here as Orange Starry. Let's get into it in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, Johnny English, despite this seeming like this was a pretty close match this whole way, Johnny English could wrap things up right now. Put this away. Look at this bar filling up completely, and we're going to join them. Nope, we stop and immediately walk away based on the bar filling up. And we pick up a highlight for that little move, too.
Yeah, Mitchel S. Barney not convinced that stop was correct, and just we earned the highlight for pathing there, and that's pretty rough for us. But this bar rush is also just amazing here. We could just 30 seconds from now go pick up a drink from the bar and take the guest list. There's a pretty decent chance that we could have been delegated to.
Yeah, but look at all these highlights. It's so tough, and we're one of them. The question is whether it's remembered what we picked up this highlight for. Because if these are just bar highlights otherwise, unless we really stand out in Mitchel S. Barney's mind, this could very well be that we end up getting a neutral light after a minute has passed and the bar cooldown has finished.
We're standing here with a double agent, a chance to fire off a banana bread, but we're not going to do it. Instead, it looks like we're going to go try to get this briefcase that our suction target just put down, going for a difficult print this time. Or maybe not even a print at all, it looks like. So we're just going to be forced to return this useless briefcase. The ambassador walks away. I expect we'll put this down, not wanting to invest the time. We twitch over towards the ambassador, but with the ambassador landing a bookcase, we're now forced to put it down. There will be no briefcase return as we join conversation with our seduction target, who was just at bar.
I think our seduction target has gotten the bar twice now, and I think he's also come to us twice, which has given us 2 basically free flirts. But again, we still have the highlight. It hasn't been brought down to a neutral, and I'm wondering just how much suspicion we really have right now.
Yeah, that stop outside the bar, not really the correct pathing there, and Mitchel S. Barney appears aware of that. Question is, are we going to try to pretend that we were delegated to by the seduction target here? It looks like the answer is no. Time is ticked down to 1.5 minutes left, and we have 0 completed missions. Our only progress is this flirt, and so it will be the delegate frame. As soon as the seduction target talks, we're heading over to bar. We're going to take the delegate list here. There is no question about our plan. The only question is, how is Mitchel S. Barney going to react? Here's the take. There's the purloin. What's the reaction here from the sniper? We're a highlight. So is the person who delegated to us. They had just been to bar. They're in conversation talking, but there's no reason to shoot yet.
Yeah, Mitchel S. Barney having a pretty good mission count on both us and Disney, the sender, and we're just getting highlights and lowlights coming off. But keeping things firmly in view, I think it's probably down to 2, but the highlights and lowlights don't necessarily reflect that. It's us, it's our seduction target who had delegated to us, and Mom as well.
We need some contact here. It's going to be the only way that we can really induce a shot. And we're very, very lucky that the SDA is in conversation with us, but the selection target leaves. The selection target leaves. Okay, but the selection target goes to a statue pad here. Looks like it is it the statue or is it the bookcase? It's the bookcase. Even more threatening. Will this be enough to provoke a shot? We're in the last 30 seconds, but I think the mission count's probably accurate enough on Disney not to shoot. I don't think this is going to be real inspects for Disney. Disney takes the book away. That means they will not be visiting a statue pad. 15 seconds now. We can fire off a fake contact, but I don't think it's going to help at all. No SDA in the conversation holding our seduction target and mom for that matter. Not real for anyone except for us. And 5 seconds left. This is either going to be a timeout or a spy shot.
No, I think we're timing out here. And it's really unfortunate. I think if an SDA had been in that conversation with Disney and Mom, we absolutely get a shot coming off on one of them. But because they're just in there, Johnny English fires off a fake as a kind of a Hail Mary, just hoping to get lucky that an SDA is in that conversation circle and doesn't.
Yeah, that's just a real shame. And by the way, for those people that are guessing on the identities of the spy and the sniper, I want to point out here that on Redwoods, we had no lowlights on the double agent or SDA. Even though we took the time to lowlight, for example, Damon.
Yeah, very strange.
Could just be to make sure that those players are easier to track, wanting to make sure that we're always aware of the location of the DA and the SDA. There are certainly maps where I'll highlight the DA and the SDA where I really want to make sure that I know who has real. But no lights, highlights, or lowlights or otherwise coming off on the yellow arrows here on Redwoods.
Okay. Well, now we're moving into our last venue, library, and Mitchell S. Barney is still alive, but needing a win here as a spy, and then picking up the sniper win as well, just to bring things back and go into overtime, which will be more library.
All right, well, Mitchell S. Barney on the spy side as green dress. We're starting next to our seduction target. Let's see if we go for the chase. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. Well, no chase will come off. Instead, we're going to land here off a pad and then kind of adjust our way back on this window. It's an immediate green time ad. And bouncing off that pad, now we're chasing down our seduction target, but with 45 extra seconds, 5.25 minutes to play here as we pick up our first flirt with a green test. And we're highlight along with Mom for a potential flirt pair at windows here. That's aggressive sniper play.
Yeah, not many players do this initial sort of flirt highlight and then keep things in mind the rest of the way. The play so far has seemed very characteristic. I have a pretty good guess of who Johnny English is, but we'll save that for the end.
All right, well, I'll definitely make you guess first then, as we're chasing our selection target down to this conversation as well. Chance to pick up a second flirt here. Gonna want to fire it soon. There it is. It's a white test, unfortunately. One more flirt will be required. We have a chance to go in for statues here, but not willing to do it. Instead, I suspect we're going to go for this fingerprint. But no, we redirect away from that briefcase, not interested in it at all, swerving around it, in fact. And we're just going to stand here at windows.
Yeah, I mean, library is definitely a venue where you have to be conscious of time, but that early time ad definitely helps out. We pick up this fingerprint off this book, and that will help as well. I would be very, very shocked if we do any sort of shenanigans as the sniper kind of over here making sure that Mom doesn't bug the ambassador.
The laser really burning us here just for standing at that briefcase and getting that print. And now we're going to go over to sculpture and pick up our last flirt. If the laser saw us there after that initial flirt pair at windows, I would be very nervous.
Absolutely. And I don't know. It's hard to say exactly what Mitchell thinks about who their opponent is, because that's definitely a big part of your play on library is kind of trying to predict where your opponent is looking and what they know and what they're keeping track of. And with no real knowledge, it can be difficult to say. But at this point in the match, it's possible that Mitchell has sussed out maybe some strong possibilities for who they're playing against.
All right, well, here in conversation, we're down to 3 minutes left. And really no chance for us to do missions here. We're just going to reject the drink. The ambassador is not in a particularly vulnerable position. So we're going to leave this conversation and head over to Green Books. And a quick book take here, not wanting to be beaten by Twin to this fingerprint. That will be fingerprints done, but it was definitely not a super clean book grab there.
No, and the laser sort of hovered over us for a moment as we pulled the book out. That is our second fingerprint as well. And if Johnny English is tracking that well, then Johnny is certainly aware that we have that mission complete too.
I'm not going to take this bug on the ambassador at statues as being watched very carefully, and I sort of feel like the laser's following us around here more than I would really like if I was Mitchel S. Barney.
That's certainly true, but look at another highlight comes off for a potential flirt pair, and
And
now
the
some
red.
lowlights coming off as well.
Yeah, it's a nice contact here. It looks like Johnny English was considering low-lighting for fake. Didn't end up doing it. We step into conversation uncomfortably close to the ambassador here. Toby here as well. We're with our seduction target on top of that, even though that mission is done. We have 3 missions and still 2 minutes to play after that time ad. The pacing here has been very, very good. We just need an inspect and 1 more mission.
Yep, certainly true. And the question, again, is just really how much of a suspect we really are. There's so many highlights right now. Let's see, it looks like 5 highlights as pearls gets dropped down. But that's a lot of suspects this late on library. But also, no hardtail shown. Purloin is still in play. No swath has been shown. So, at this point, Johnny English is probably pretty sure that no one is done.
Yeah, it's so interesting to see these lights going up and down on library. It's something I really do not see very often, people getting highlit and then being brought back down to neutral lights on library. But this sniper, but we take the bug! Completely off camera there. Perfectly timed.
Yeah, that was really, really nice. And now we just need 1 more mission with a whole minute left to go. We could just go to statues and finish it off. Look at this bouncing as well. That's just dirty.
Yeah, that 360 may be a little suspicious, but the other bounces there quite nice. As we step into center statues, this will be the test. We're going to be in mission win countdown as soon as we finish these inspects. Johnny English is going to have to shoot for center inspects. How much of a suspect are we really? We've been feeling like we've been a top suspect all game. But now into mission win countdown, 7 seconds, 6. Is Johnny English going to shoot? This is for the match if we take this shot, but we will not. And Mitchel S. Barney will survive and take us the entire distance here, keeping the set 4-5.
Yeah. Wow. I think that was just an issue of mission count. We didn't credit the bug, and that was enough to let us get away with at the end there.
The bug's so well timed, and if you're Mitchel S. Barney, it has to feel so gross. You go for that bug, and half a second later, the laser just swings and flicks directly onto you, but it just wasn't seen. It just was not on camera. Perfectly timed.
All right. So Mitchel S. Barney, with showing some fortitude, bringing this all the way back, and now just needing 1 sniper win on library to tie things up and go to our sudden death.
Yeah, after being 5-2, Mitchel S. Barney looking for the reverse sweep. Now Johnny English on the spy side as Boots. Took me a second there to decide. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. We can call her brown belt, right? It's fine.
I mean, you can call her anything you want. You're casting. Look at
All
these
right,
360s. Johnny English just doing multiple 360s right there for no good reason. I got to think that that is intentional and probably also indicative of who this player could be.
It does certainly seem in style for a player playing as Johnny English, just doing those round and round and round moves. But we're standing here at Sculpture. We're not really doing anything. Maybe waiting for Toby to walk away before we try to do something a little bit weirder. It will be a window visit here. Are we going to go for a time ad of our own? Looks like no, just staring out into the abyss, contemplating life and our existence. There's the time ad.
Or are we? Yep, Johnny English proving you wrong immediately.
All right, I'm here for it. I don't mind. And we're just going to go step in this empty conversation. Now, the question will be, how much of this 45 seconds that we just time added are we going to essentially waste idling in that conversation and idling at windows? I want to see us make some good progress here.
I was curious. I thought maybe if Ambassador had said that we were going to go for a bug, and we're still chasing down the Ambassador. A bug may still be in the offering, but no, we decided to change directions, redirect, and walk away. I would guess we're going to go into this conversation circle with the double agent instead. But no, we keep on going past, and we're going to just continue with the idol.
Yeah, we really are just going back and forth between like windows, sculpture again. No mission progress here of any kind. Are we just going to go for another time ad?
Well, not yet, but we're still not doing anything useful. This is basically textbook active idling, walking around but not going to mission sites and not really doing anything, and being seen doing nothing. We're going to go and finally next to our seduction target and pick up our first flirt.
All right, well, 3 minutes 40 left to play. We do hit a green test for 51%. That will help us a bit here, but the pacing is going to be rough for the rest of this game. The one saving grace, of course, is that other people have been active, but in Library, it's not so easy to focus Civ Shot unless you can have some kind of hardtail showing. We need to be looking around, identifying a frame target maybe, trying to get a good purloin chain, finding someone to swap for, something like that. Instead, we will be stepping directly here into side statues. Can't get too much progress. Can't play too fast. Side statues good enough. But no, we don't pick up the statue. We just walk away. We just walk into this conversation. We're being teased here. We thought there would be mission progress, and instead there isn't.
But that's not legal. There's no universe in which that play is legal, and I think it was seen.
That's such a strange move there. Very Johnny English indeed. Now we're being offered a drink. What will we do? It is a green purloin. I am lost and confused in this match, Spin Monkey.
I am as well. The purloin comes off, and immediately we just get shot for it.
Okay.
It really felt like Johnny English was trolling in this match. Or in this game, rather. With those 360s at the beginning and just kind of bouncing around doing nothing, that weird sort of statue move, that was strange play all around and not characteristic, really, of, I think, somebody trying to win.
Very strange play indeed. But whatever the case, that will be a win there for Mitchel S. Barney.
Yep, so that takes us into overtime now, which is going to be 4 games on Library. I believe if someone gets the 3 wins here on Library, then they take the match outright. I think, and if it's tied, then we go to missions equals points on Courtyard.
Oh, I messed up the score. Hold on. Yeah, it's 5-5, right?
It's 5-5.
5-5.
All right.
Easy scoreboard.
I hope I have some more replays in this folder. Let's see if I do.
So it should be four games of Library. If one of them gets 2 points over, then yeah.
So Mitchel S. Barney, now we're going to play some more Library. And it will be Mitchel S. Barney as Wheels.
Yep, that looks right to me.
Yep.
Let's start our overtime games in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
All right. So I think this is the first overtime set that we've had in the Hidden Cup thus far. And Library, a very good venue for it. We're going to see a lot more out of these players and how they approach the game pretty much right away. Johnny English not going with any sort of early flirt highlights this time around.
Yeah, we're just going to go for this blue bookcase. We are 3 at bookcase here, but the spacing is quite nice, actually. Not sure if that's particularly suspicious or not. And Johnny English not letting off any highlights for it, at least. We take this book, we drive over to the window here. Chance to cheese this return at some point, but we were probably at least seen and noted at that bookcase for being 3 at it. Instead, it's going to be a transfer animation, not on screen. We get away with the transfer. We can go put this book back. That is pretty nice to see. The question is, are we going to go immediately back to bookcase? No, we're going to carry this book around for at least a little bit longer. I really like that decision, not wanting to put it back so quickly, but instead we're going to go for this try to go for the briefcase. We will get beaten to it by Twin, so we just redirect over to window pad, and now I think we can probably go put this book back.
Yep, that makes sense. Obscuring and being a little bit less spy-like by taking that book and wandering around with it for no reason. Let's see. We're just going to put it back here. The question is, what's next? I mean, we've already wasted a bunch of time with this book, and just for 1/2 of a mission completion. We have no flirt progress or anything else yet either. And you know what? The cure for that is a time ad.
It absolutely is. We have seen now time ads, I think, on every Library game from both of these players so far.
Yeah, I mean, these players have approached the game in similar ways, both ways. I mean, there's been some speculation in chat that one of these players is consciously trying to mimic their opponent with a pretty strong guess of who they are. But I think either way, both these players are pretty experienced, and both of them. I'm not sure that was.
I don't like that.
Yep,
You're supposed
agreed.
to find the ambassador for that return. We were very much off to their side.
All right. Well, we have our second book in hand. I don't think we can really do this. I mean, the blue bookcase on Library is the worst place to do a possible microfilm. So we're gonna take it somewhere else and try and figure it out there instead. Excuse me, the green bookcase. We're going to do it behind the pillar here, just in conversation, and I think it's completely clean. The laser doesn't even flick over to us.
Yeah, I think we got away with both microfilm animations at this point. We can go put this book back, but all we had to
And the
show
end of
for
red.
it, here's a contact. So, all right, we have that to our name. We're going to return this book after a contact, but it's to the right bookcase, so no real distraction implied here. We can sit this bookcase, make it very clear and obvious to the sniper that what we're doing is allowed. But now we have 2 missions done. We have 1 print. We still have 0 progress on our flirt, though, and that makes me nervous.
Yep, agreed. But we've certainly seen both these players get a lot of mission progress done really quick, especially with those green tests. Both players have been hitting their green flirts pretty reliably, and no exception here as Mitchell picks up a green flirt 51% now with a little over 2 minutes remaining.
Yeah, that'll definitely help a lot. We go for another book here. This one is fingerprintable. I believe we've now been to all 3 bookcases.
I think
No,
our
excuse me,
first
we
one.
have not been to yellow. We've been to blue twice.
Yep, I think that's true. And we pick up a highlight for it as well. And I think that's for the for completing fingerprint here. It seems like Johnny English has been highlighting for mission completion rather than partial mission progress. And this is no exception here either.
Yeah, well, there's another flirt. This one is white for 85%. Ambassador's headed toward in our direction, gets bumped around, unfortunately. And that's unfortunate for us. Although, as Wheels, not typically going to have a very strong bug animation here. Not a mission you typically see Wheels players go for.
No, I agree. And so let's look at the situation now. We have 1:25 left. We have no drink in hand. We have to finish our flirt, which we can do pretty easily. And look at all this bouncing around that Mitchell has been doing. A whole lot of pathing stuff. We go for this useless briefcase as well, even though we're done with fingerprint.
Yeah, briefcase choice is an interesting one. There's no room to return this, I don't think. I think we need to stop and put this down.
Oh no.
There's the stop. We put down the briefcase. Mitchell Barney showing some strange briefcase etiquette here in this match in terms of returns, which I'm sure Johnny English may be taking notice of. Now joining this conversation with Smallman in our lap, looking for the seduction target. We need to go get one more flirt. We're down to 48 seconds. We kind of have to do it pretty soon here. We're going to get a green purloin, though, and we're maybe trying to hide behind the pillar there right on top of Smallman as we do the purloin. We enter conversation. Here's the take. There's the Liscon. Look how high this laser is. Very unusual. And now the shot immediately comes off on us with 5 seconds left in the mission win countdown. Very nice shot there from Johnny English.
Yeah, that was an interesting game all the way around. From that early idling to just a flurry of mission progress and getting stuff done at the end. Really nice play, but Johnny English was not fooled.
Yeah, not at all. And this laser angle at the end confuses me so much. Laser being held much higher than we typically see players hold lasers here on Library.
Yeah, that's true as well. So Johnny English picks up the first game of overtime here.
Yep, and now we'll be playing on the spy side as Queen in 3. Now be playing on the spy side as Queen in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yep, we have Queen. We have a certain seduction target. So Johnny English, as we've already seen, certainly willing to meme it up.
Yeah, Johnny English is playing this game and having a good time playing it looks like, which always nice to see. Our selection target at Windows, unfortunately, is going for a briefcase. No chance for a flirt there as he walks away from us, leaving us stilted and jilted and all alone. And we're just going to stare out into the abyss, contemplating how we got in this position. Maybe wondering where it all went wrong. By the way, Johnny English, I can tell you where it all went wrong. It was on that game 10.
Yeah, again, though, I'm not sure that wasn't intentional. It certainly seemed like there were a lot of things that were calculated to maybe just play more games. It could just be that Johnny English is really enjoying this match, just wanting to get some more games in with this opponent.
Certainly fair. We don't pick up the fingerprint for that briefcase, but we do pick up a highlight. We're still not able to get into conversation with our selection target. We're going to try again here as Smallman, the double agent, leaves. Smallman double agent on Library, not something you see that often, I would say. We are going to go pick up a flirt. It's a green test for 51%.
No, I would agree. And this is something that we have talked about a little bit in Discord. Not we, I mean the community as a whole. In that Smallman as an SDA, the sniper, a lot of times their instinct is going to be that there's no way that that's the real double agent. So if that is an intentional choice by Johnny English, that's a nice little touch.
Yep, well, we are here next to our seduction target. Could be trying to pick up a timer flirt here. It's going to be a little while before we can, though. We're just going to reject this drink. I think timer flirting here is probably reasonable, especially given that we have a green for our first. We can see if we can two-flirt this before we move on for some more
Banana
mission
bread.
progress. We get a real contact as well, and it's pretty decent. It's going to let off maybe 2 or 3 lowlights, and soon we'll pick up this flirt. The ambassador's here, but not really going to be very vulnerable for a bug. We're going to have to move in the other direction when we leave this conversation, which is another green flirt. It's a 2-flirt. That's 2 missions done here with 2 minutes 40 left to play.
Yep. Once again, just highlighting Johnny English really nailing the green tests. Missed that difficult fingerprint earlier, but two green flirt on the flirt and the green banana bread, really keeping that action test percentage strong.
All right, 2 minutes 25. We're still here in this conversation. It's time for us to go, and go we will. We will step into side statues. Again, not wanting to make too much progress here. Got to play it slow. And again, not picking up the statue, though.
Banana
What is
bread.
this? We step into a conversation and let off a fake banana bread. And now we go back to side statues, and we get low lit for it. We decide that we really want to get that low light. We farm for it. We work really hard for it. Laser, we knew wasn't watching us. It was safe for us to walk away. We don't pick up the inspect, unfortunately. Salmon picks up center statues. It will just be 1, but we do pick up the fingerprint off of this. That was a move.
Yeah, I think we were seeing that statues. As soon as the laser swung away, we walked away, did the banana bread, and immediately went back to the same statue. So, thinking that there's no way we could have possibly banana breaded since we were already picking up a statue. That was just really, really dirty.
All right, well, we are low lit here, but we have less than 100 seconds left. We still only have 1 print, we only have 1 inspect, and 2 completed missions. So still a lot of stuff we have to do. We're going to go for this bug as a low light. I think we've gotten away with it as well. We're now actually set up pretty nicely to finish this game.
Yeah, there's no way Johnny English isn't winning this game. I don't know if we're going for the inspect swap here, or if there's maybe a fingerprint on this. But either way, like, I would be so shocked if Johnny English gets shot at this point.
Mitchel Barney, though, not selling out on us here, watching this pretty carefully, looking for the spec swap, has a mission count on us. Even as a low light, we are being watched, and I really love to see it.
But I think the focus might be on Alice here instead. Swing back repeatedly as she finishes that. And yeah, here comes the shot.
Wow. All right.
Okay, so I think
That
we
was a
have...
move.
That was a move. But the overtime is 4 games, not 2. So Johnny English needs 1 more win here to wrap up this set. Mitchell still has a chance to bring it back and go to missions equals points.
It's just first person to get 2 points.
Yeah. Johnny just
is that
won.
right?
Yeah.
That's the match.
All right. Yeah, I'm out of replays. So, yeah, Johnny English just wraps it up with a dominant showing here in overtime.
Banana bread.
That was quite the game to end the set on, and I had a lot of fun watching it, actually. I had not seen that particular kind of tech before.
No, that was really, really impressive, especially that banana bread move at the end. Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty clear that both these
Banana
players
bread.
are very high-level players. What do you guys think?
Yeah, that was a high level set. It's probably the highest level set I've seen so far.
Oh, I think that's certainly true, yeah.
Being one of the players.
Lazy. Why are you like this?
I'm sorry.
Why are you
Why
like
would you
this?
say 1 and when we know that you're actually both of them?
No, but
All
that was really fun to watch. Like, that was really back and forth. It was almost a comeback by Mitchell. Went into OT. That was pretty insane.
All right. Well, my opinions on who these players were changed some throughout the match. I'm just to say it. I think Johnny was in fact Pwn Noob. I mean, there were only a couple players who kind of do that sort of highlighting style at this level, and I'm going to choose to believe that Lazy Bear is not in fact in this match. So I'm going Pwn Noob.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with that as well.
As for Mitchell, that's a little bit tougher. Lazy Bear, do you have any thoughts? I mean, you're familiar with a lot of the high-level players in the scene. What are your thoughts besides yourself?
My initial thought was Minturog because she likes to keep like SDAs neutral and she lowlights them when the BB happens, but it didn't feel like that was the play at all. But it felt like a behavioral sniper to me. But then after the set went further and further, it felt more and more like Pawn Noob, which was really weird. So I don't really know.
Yeah, initially I thought that Johnny English might be Kuma Kid just based on the early highlights, but based on the fluid highlighting on Library, I mean I haven't played a bunch with Kuma Kid on Library, but that didn't really feel like Kuma's spot or sniper.
I was actually going to go with Kuma Kid for Mitchel S. Barney.
Okay. Yeah, I could certainly see that as well.